and welcome to the What the Fork Monarchs preview show. Dave, the What the Fork Monarchs playoff preview show, I should have said. That's it. All the talking's done. We've done a lot of talking about it. And now we're here. And the playoffs start this Friday. And a very intriguing looking match as the Redcar Bears head to Armadale. The second leg then down in Teesside on Sunday. So Dave, a weekend feast of Speedway ahead. We've finally made it to the playoffs. And it's probably, I'll repeat this ad nauseum probably, because I know it's in my 2 interviews I've done with who we speak to later on, but everything starts again come 7:30 on Friday night.
Yeah, it's a massive weekend. It's what we raced for all season. You know, it's kind of ironic that that's how we started the season, home and away against Redcar, with 2 fantastic draws at the start of the season. And for one of the teams, this is going to be the end of the road on Sunday. I mean, hopefully we might still have the cup to play for, but for as far as the playoffs and the champions concerned, someone's going to finish on Sunday, and we need to make sure it's not us.
Yep, that's the name of the game, Dave, as you say. And looking ahead to those fixtures, we hear from both camps. I caught up with both Sam Masters, the Monarchs captain, and James Sarjeant from Redcar. And as always, we'll delve into the archives. We've got 2 heats for you this week. One from the near future, back in that fixture back on the 28th of May of this year. And then we'll go further back to 2006 and what was at the time the very first ever visit to Armadale of the Redcar Bears. Dave, we mentioned those matches earlier in the season. 2 draws, nothing could separate the teams over 90 heats. Both teams have changed personnel since then. Weirdly, some of the Redcar team are one of the Redcar teams now in the Monarchs team. So those kind of matches, although we know the kind of form that the riders can show each way, they count for nothing again. It's a 2-legged tie, so of course no tactical substitutes. So it's all about keeping it as close as you can if you're an away team, and 30 heats to decide who's going to come out on top. And we've always got our blue and gold tinted specs on, but if I was an outsider looking in, it'd be a hard one to pick if I was trying to choose.
Yeah, it's a fantastic matchup. We couldn't be separated early in the season. There are some team changes. We'll obviously see how that works out for both teams, but 4th and 5th in the table. I think with Richie's absence, without Richie's injury, we'd have been closer to them. So I'm not sure the league table necessarily reflects where we were. Didn't mean we had a nervous few weeks there, but we're there now, and it's, as you say, back to square one. No tax subs, both matches live streamed. It's going to be a fantastic weekend of Speedway, and I can't wait.
Yeah, and of course, you mentioned that there. One of the great things, I know the guys at Redcar have been working very hard on this all year, and the last few matches have been in a position where they are one off. I think still only 3 clubs, including ourselves in the country, that do live stream. So if you can't make it along on Sunday down to Redcar, then do pick up the stream on the website. We'll post a link up on the Monarch social media as the week goes on, so you can buy your streaming passes for that. And of course, Friday night is Speedway Night Armadale, Dave, 7:30 on Friday night with the tapes up. Get your tickets now. I'm expecting a big demand for this. It's the Monarchs' first playoff fixture since 2017. Is that right? Am I math right on that?
You're probably right. It feels like a long time considering how good a run we had over the earlier years in the 2010s. But we're back where we belong. We're up to 6 riders with Anders coming back and having a good run at pool last week. All the boys are kind of fresh, and it's kind of strange that both teams have kind of had almost a week or 2 off.
Yeah,
I know that some riders in the Premiership and Redcar did have their Julie Lewis memorial last week, so they have had some practice, but for both teams, it's like Kai Thompson, chance to recover from that knock he had.
Yeah,
and plenty of chance to get your bikes up and running, ready to go, and no excuses come Friday night, 7:30.
Yep, no excuses, as you say. And one man certainly not looking for any excuses, but looking for a big weekend is Monarchs #1 and captain Sam Masters. And I got up with him a little bit earlier on, and we'll hear his thoughts now. So, Sam, obviously the hard work's kind of been done so far. The Monarchs are in the playoffs, but it all starts again. Everyone starts again on 0 on Friday, and it's all about those 2-legged ties and beating the Bears this weekend.
Yeah, it's we made hard work of it, probably because we weren't winning so much at home, but we've been so good away, so which is kind of promising, really, because over 2 legs, if you can be good away, then that's a bonus for us. So if we can sort our stuff out at home, then I can't see why we can't win anywhere really on aggregate, especially like when we went down to Poole and even Leicester and picking up points. Not many teams have done that. So it's good.
Yeah, you mentioned that there. Obviously, I think when you look at the teams that are in the playoffs, we won at Glasgow, we drew at Redcar, we got a point at Leicester, and I think we were the only team in the league to get a point at Poole. So it must put confidence into the team. And I guess on the flip side, it also means, if we can get past Redcar, there's not going to be many teams wanting to pick the Monarchs over 2 legs.
Yeah, that's right. It's normally people don't like picking the Monarchs over 2 legs because it's such a hard track to go to, but that hasn't really been the case this year. Like I said before, we've been better away, really, from home. So, we've got Anders, who's done a couple of meetings now at home. Drew obviously showed how good he can be. I think we're actually going to be stronger at home now, and hopefully that plays in our favour. But I'm definitely confident that we've got the team for sure to win the league. But yeah, obviously when it comes to playoffs, you need a bit of luck as well. So it's up to us to create our own luck and see where it takes us.
Yep, and obviously Redcar first up. Nothing could separate the 2 teams there in the season. A draw at Armadale, a draw down at Redcar as well. And I know, speaking to a few guys in the Redcar camp, they think they're stronger now with Louis Kerr in there. But as you've mentioned, the Monarchs potentially stronger as well with Anders and Drew. So it's set up for another 2 huge matches, and ones the fans should absolutely love this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, you can't really go off the start of the season. Everyone has been off the bike, especially at that time of the year. No one had been riding for a year, really. So you can't really sort of look back at that. But, Anders had rode there for Redcar most of the season, so he knows his way around. I like the place. Richie and Josh should do pretty good there. They've been going pretty good everywhere. So, they may be stronger with Louis Kerr in, but I think we're better as well, like than we were when we were there. So, we've just got to give them a smashing at home and go there, and hopefully their heads are down, and we'll keep it going. Yeah,
and I spoke to Richie during the week for something else, and he was saying just how much he loves the playoffs. Like, the atmosphere in the pits ramps up. Everyone's there to help each other. It becomes, the team gets a lot tighter and works even better together than they already have. Is that something you would echo as well? Are these kind of meetings that you kind of race the rest of the season just to get to, and these are the ones you really enjoy?
Yeah, it's like obviously I'm the captain, and I've got probably a lot more, not a lot more, but a little bit more experience than a lot of the other boys in the team. So I do my best to try and help everyone out. Richie's obviously been around for a while, so he knows the drill. And but yeah, the team spirit's been pretty good lately. We just we need to obviously start the playoffs good. It's just like you said, starting the season again, and if we can start good, obviously the mood in the camp's always up then, and we can keep going from there. But playoffs is a different ball game really to the league. It's obviously a lot more happening, a little bit more pressure, and we put a bit on ourselves. So we all know what we've got to do, and
it's been too long now. It's been 6 years since the last time the Monarchs lifted a trophy. Obviously, we're still in the cup, pending Birmingham tonight. We've got the playoffs to start. That's something we need to put right. It's about time there was another bit of silverware getting lifted at Armadale on a Friday night.
Yeah, for sure, mate. It's been too long, way too long now, and as a team, we need to. And for the fans and the management, they try hard every year to put a good team together. And over the years, it's been a little bit of bad luck. But I think, like I said before, we do have a team that can lift the trophy, and that's our aim, to lift the silver, really. Lift Knockout Cup. Obviously, we've got that tonight at Birmingham. We've got a few points up, so win a few heats there and get through the next round, and aim on obviously getting the trophy in the Knockout Cup, and the playoffs start this weekend. So we're in the business end of the season to get trophies, so it's time to make it happen.
So Dave, Sam saying it himself there, he's a man that's been about the Monarchs club on and off for the best part of 8 years or so now, 7 or 8 years. And it's about time. It's been 6 years now since the Monarchs last lifted a national trophy. We want that to change this year, and this Friday is the first step. One change to the Monarchs lineup, obviously no Nathan Graves. Jason Edwards steps in for both legs, and you know what, it's going to be tough to pick up guests. You know, we can't use anyone that rides for any of the other playoff teams, and even if we progress, you can't use riders from teams that have been knocked out either. So it's a small pool of riders we have to choose from, and Jason Edwards steps in this weekend, and he's a tidy little rider. He'll do a job for us. On the flip side, Redcar, still a little bit TBC. Obviously, they're hoping and expecting to be the full 1-7. Then anyone watching the Premiership playoffs on Monday night would have seen Michael Pamtoff pull out of the Wolves Peterborough match, and I believe they're still waiting on confirmation on whether he'll be able to ride or not. If not, it's rider replacement. And with Pamtoff being fourth in their averages, it would be extra rides for Jay Calla and James Sarjeant in the reserves, Dave. So a wee bit of jiggery pokery in both teams. You know, no tactical substitutes, as I mentioned, but still, you know, the two team managers will need to get their tactical heads on and work it. If there's reserve switches to be made, when best to use them and stuff. It's the playoffs. Everyone needs to be at the top of their game.
Yeah, and as you say, I think Redcar are probably going to switch their lineup around and put Pamtoff that number 4, and just in case they're guarding against that rider replacement, Lewis Kerr going to number 5, which would give them a formidable 3 and 4 if Pamtoff does make it. And I'm one of these guys that I hope Michael's there and at his best, because you want to be beating the teams at their best. You know, your best team against their best team. Unfortunately, we don't have Nathan. As you say, Jason Edwards has been going really well for Kent in the National League and has got potential. So is it a good replacement? But that's where for us, it's good to have Anders back and hopefully fully fit. So we've got 6 men and we're not got a rider replacement between those reserves and heavily reliant on 1 or 2 riders, because we'll need all 7 at their best to beat Redcar and then hopefully go on and win another 2 matches at least this season.
Yep, definitely. Big weekend ahead of us here. We've heard from the Monarchs camp so far. We'll now switch over and get I was going to say reaction. It won't be reaction because we're previewing it. Get the thoughts from the Redcar camp. And I caught up earlier in the week with James Sarjeant. James, obviously, Monarchs against the Bears into the playoffs, and two matches earlier on in the season when the teams couldn't be separated, but that counts for nothing and everything starts again at Heat 1 on Friday.
Yeah, definitely. I always find playoffs that everyone's a bit more up for it. So yeah, it should be 2 good matches.
Yep, and obviously both teams have made changes recently. Lewis Kerr and then obviously Ryan Kinsley coming in at the bottom end for Redcar. You know, do you feel that's given that maybe extra oomph into the top 3 or 4, giving that back into the top guys that the Bears might need just to push on and try and clinch that league title?
Yeah, I mean Louis just been getting better and better every meeting. I think he did max out last meeting, or paid max. I'm not sure, but yeah, he's riding well, Louis. I think that's what we needed. Obviously Jordan got injured pretty early on, and we run our most of the season. But it's good to be able to fill that space and get some good points.
Yeah, it's maybe been a bit of a strange season for Redcar, very similar to the Monarchs. If anything, some of the away forms maybe actually been stronger than the home form, but I guess that might actually give a little bit of added confidence going into the playoffs, because you'll be going to places like Armadale on Friday where you know you can get results because you've got them in the past.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Armadale kind of suits me more smaller and technical tracks. So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, Redcar's it's just always well prepared. It's a nice track to race. So you get a lot of teams come and you enjoy racing it, which makes it hard to be an home rider. But yeah, it's an enjoyable track to ride. But on its disadvantages, there's no home track advantage.
Yeah, and it does seem like a long time ago. It was almost the first weekend of the season, I think, for both teams when they met back in, it would have been May now, wouldn't it? But, you know, we seen then, obviously, a draw at Armadale and a draw down at Redcar. So, you know, while Redcar are the team that came in top of their higher in the league positions, I guess there's probably no real favourite going into the match.
No, like I said, playoffs, anything can happen. It seems to be a little bit different. It's a different field than usual league meetings. But yeah, you always get good racing out of it. You always get 2 good cracking meetings home and away. So yeah, it should be a good one for everyone, for fans and riders, and obviously best team win.
Yeah, and looking at your season as a whole, you know, I think obviously we've seen how well you rode at Armadale, and from memory, you did Heat 15 in the home leg for Redcar the first time the teams met. Are you happy with how your seasons went?
No, not really. I think I've had it could have done with being a bit more consistent, but just struggle getting meetings in. I mean, I missed 3 meetings due to self-isolating. We've done 20 meetings this year in league, and I think I've missed 3. And I've done odd. I think we've done odd cup match. So I've not really done that many meetings this year. So that's what I've struggled with, just getting meetings in. Just it's like you can try and go practicing in between, but it's hard to find somewhere to go. And obviously, time off work. If you're not racing, you need to be working. You can't afford to be having time off all the time to go practicing. So yeah, it could have done with more meetings, but it's been on and off. But this is the time when it matters. So we just need to make sure we get his head straight for Friday and Sunday, and yeah, make sure we put 2 good scores in.
Yeah, and of course your team at the Bears, we've touched on some of the guys already, but a team that's kind of been there and done that. You know, guys like Charles Wright, former British champion. You mentioned Louis Kerr. You know, Michael Pantoft. We know the names down the team. It's an experienced team and a team that knows what to do when the chips are down.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, every week at Redcar, we seem to be losing by about 6, 8, 12, and we managed to dig deep and pull it back. So I don't think there's anyone who will want to give up early. Everyone's got a bit of fight in them, and like you say, experience helps in these situations. Obviously, people that's been in these matches before aren't going to be as nervous, and then your younger riders that maybe might, I don't know, try a bit too hard and come off in places.
Yeah, and I guess you've touched on it already. Everyone kind of gets a little bit more up for these meetings. Every point matters. You know, in your opinion, is there any benefit to, would you prefer the home leg first to try and build a league to defend, or do you prefer going away first and then try to keep it tight and then you know exactly what you've got to do at home? Is there any benefit either way to you, or is it, it doesn't really matter? There's going to be 30 heats either way, and you've just got to come out on top after that.
Oh, it's nice to get a massive lead away from home to start with, but Edinburgh's a strong team. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's going to be, like I say, it's going to be 2 good matches. And I think even if we were to win at Edinburgh, it wouldn't be won there. They're more than capable of coming to Redcar and winning. So it's just whoever wants it more. We just have to, like I said, the best team wins.
Potential a key man in the tie for me is Sarjeant. Dave, obviously we've seen how good he rode in those matches at the start of the season. He was, he knows Armadale very well. He's a very good rider at Armadale, but even we forget kind of the away tie. James Sarjeant was actually in Heat 15. That's how well he rode on that day. Yeah. That he got the Heat 15 nod. We know how good the top 4, if all 4 are there, are for Redcar. The names speak for themselves, but you still need the backup, and that's where guys like Jordan Jenkins and James Sarjeant could be key.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously we know the background with James, how he, if there wasn't for the change in rules, he would have been in our team this year. Yeah. And I'm sure that's a little bit extra motivation, as perhaps for Anders racing for us. And so you never know on that side, but we know he knows our track well enough. We know he's a fast starter, sometimes a wee bit too fast, but he has that reputation. But he's done well for Redcar this year and been solid, especially in those 2 matches against us early in the season. And he will be a danger on Fridays, especially. But as we said, especially as I said, Anders still think he's only had 1 home meeting for us, and so there's a bit of an ask there. But we know our strength is that top 4 with Sam, Josh, and Richie and Mackay been backing them up. We'll hopefully kick on from there, and we've got a bit of backing for them, so hopefully that'll be enough. It's definitely a challenge, and looking forward to it.
Yep, looking forward to it indeed, Dave. Big weekend. I've probably said that 4 or 5 times now. These are the fans, the weekends that the fans want. 2 fixtures close together, home and away. You're not having to travel 500 miles down the country. It's reasonably close. I mean, it's still a 3-hour drive or so, but it's reasonably close.
I'm sure there'll be a bus of Monarchs fans going and desperate. So maybe even speak to Anne Dunlop if you're still fancy on Friday night. There might be space.
Yep, that's it. Do you want to get on? And as I say, if not, as we always say, Friday night Speedway, get online, edinburghmonarchs.co.uk tickets. get your tickets in advance. Yes, you can pay in cash at the gate, but I think there's going to be big queues on Friday night. So anything that makes it quicker and easier to get in, get your ticket online now. Then it's just a case of showing up at the gate, scanning your barcode, and then you go. If you can't make it along.
So I was just going to say, it's worth reminding everybody that as this is now the playoffs, it's not part of the original gold card package. So there is a discounted rate for gold members, but so if you do that now, that means you'll still be able to use your gold card on Friday, but there is a small payment now. We're into playoffs and these extra fixtures, but so yeah, again, I can't emphasize, same as you, Graham, get that done early, get that done tonight.
Yep, and I'm sure the club has been in touch with her. And so if you are a gold card member and you've not heard from the club, do give them a shout and they'll be able to sort that out for you. If you can't make it along, then the live stream is available, obviously outside of 25 miles from Armadale. EdinburghMonarchs.co.uk, then the EMTV link will take you onto that. And then, as we've mentioned, the bonus for the Monarchs point of view anyway, Dave, Monarchs fans point of view on Sunday, the match is live streamed also, 6:30 tapes up from Redcar. So if you can't make it down, pick up the stream, watch from home and cheer on the boys. I think it's at Redcar Bears.
Redcar-speedway.com.
Redcar-speedway.com. Thank you, Dave. Or I know it's up on the Redcar social media. I know Martin that puts the live stream together, gets it up there nice and early and gets that organised. So pick it up from them. But until Friday, Dave, as always, we'll now delve into the archives. 2 heats for us back to back. First up, we're just going back to the 28th of May this year. As I said, Heat 1 of that very first championship fixtures. And an interesting battle, or 2 interesting battles. It's Charles Wright and Anders Rowe up against Sam Masters and Nathan Greaves. And then after that, we'll take you back to April 2006. Redcar's first ever visit to Armadale, and it's Henrik Moller and Theo Piper against Thomas Suchanek and Kevin Little.
Here we go, the championship starts here. Pretty even start, and it is that man Anders Rowe from the inside. My goodness, sensational start by him. Charles Wright's at the back, but he's having a go around the outside of Greaves. So what we heard about Anders Rowe seems to be true. Charles Wright now's got inside Greaves, pressing him very hard. Greaves hanging on to that third. Masters right on Rowe's tail. Good start. Exciting battle for first and third. Rowe looking just tremendous. Masters hasn't given up, and Charles Wright has burst inside Greaves on the top bend. Can Greaves come back? Can Masters catch Rowe? Did Masters catch Rowe? He might have done. Certainly Charles Wright got the third after a brave effort by Nathan Greaves. We're not well placed here for the finish, so we'll have to wait to see who got the first place, but Masters did come with a terrific burst at the end there. Heat 10 then, Kevin Little gets a tactical ride here. He certainly looked good in his second race. Theo Piper gate 2, Thomas Suchanek gate 3 and Henrik Moller in gate 4. And who's going to get there? It's Moller. Piper's in contention, but Little'll sell him out. Moller leads the way from Little. Henrik will find that Kevin knows his way around in no uncertain fashion. Henrik holding it tight there. So far so good for the wee Dane. Doesn't want any spluttering engines. Theo Piper's trying to work his way back into contention, and he's not far away as they come into the last lap, with Kevin Little not far behind. Henrik once again, a very tight and tidy inside line there. That was good. And Piper's right there with Little now. He's right there indeed, and he's pushing Little hard, and he's got it. Well, a super effort by Theo, and indeed by Henrik there. Quite tremendous by the Monarchs pair. Outstanding. So Kevin Little doesn't double anything there because he didn't beat an opponent. That's the new rule this season. I don't think we've seen it in operation here yet. But full marks to both these riders. Henrik is starting to really look quite convincing, and Theo Piper backed him up brilliantly there.
Yep, two intriguing battles there, Dave, and I'm sure we'll see more of the same this weekend. I've spoken to 3 or 4 riders this week for various things, for the programme, for the preview show here, and you can tell it means more to them now. It's the playoff. You can hear the way they talk. It's gone kind of I'll just show up, do the best I can, help the boys out a little bit, and we'll see where it takes us. Now it's all about team. I won't give a preview away, but you'll read in the programme this week, Richie Worrell says, all of a sudden every team has 5 or 6 captains when it gets to the playoffs, and everyone's there out in every heat. The management get more involved, everything's more involved. It just ratchets up a knot. It's that time of year there's something about Speedway under the lights, Dave. The summer nights are lovely when you're there in shorts and t-shirt or short sleeves, but a winter night under the floodlights, the music seems a little bit louder, the atmosphere seems a little bit more tense. This is what we'll want, and I'm buzzing for this weekend, Dave.
Yeah, we've had a few cracking nights over the years, so we're definitely up for a few more of them starting on Friday night against Redcar. A tough match, but I believe our boys are good enough home and away, and the scores are going to be close. It wouldn't be a surprise if we lost on Friday and then went on Sunday and won down at Redcar. I prefer we didn't need to go to that kind of trouble, but as you say, both teams will be there and up for it. They've been battling all season for this and raring to go.
Yeah, absolutely raring to go. One last time, I'll just reiterate, get yourself onto the website, get your tickets bought. If you can't make it along, get your stream passes bought, get everything set up nice and early, because we know that the demand will be there this weekend. Dave's buzzing for it, I can tell. Look at the excitement on that face. I'm buzzing for it, you can't tell. So until Saturday, when we'll be back to review all the action from Friday night, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.